Welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Inside the Mind of the Searching. I am your host of Searching, and it's been 10 days, I guess, since I did the last episode. I don't really know how many people are actually following it, but anyway, I'm here for the next episode. I'm gonna tell you a little bit what I've been doing last week since the last episode. A lot of games, I have to say. Yeah, I've been focusing on a lot of games, pushing forward my idea for the indie games that I want to try out. Really focusing more on indie games for my channel. So what I've been doing, actually, what I've been doing. It started after actually before episode 3, I started playing a Japanese game called Yearning, which I finished a couple of days ago, somewhere last week. I think, a little week ago, I guess. I have to check actually in my list here. Around the 18th, so like 4 days ago. I finished it, and I was actually really surprised with the ending of the game. It started very mysterious, so if you haven't checked out the playthrough and if you're curious, go check it out. Overall, I had a lot of fun with the game. It's very interesting. Like I mentioned before, it's in the style of Detention, also a game I played on my channel a couple of months ago. And basically the story got me really intrigued at certain moments. I was like, what is really going on in this game? What is this going to? Where is this going to? Basically. And then the ending really blew me away, and it made perfect sense what the game was actually trying to tell you. Where the story was heading, because they were just leaving like very small parts during the gameplay, and you really had to guess almost. But towards the ending, it made so much sense to me, and for me that was just perfect. That ending was just basically, it was one of the best endings I've ever seen in a game, honestly, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys. If you just want to see the ending, I would suggest to go to my playlist. It should normally be part 8, the end, and the title is Wow, That Ending. So if you're curious about that, I do explain a little bit my thoughts and everything about it, my ideas around it. So if you're curious about that, go check it out. So yeah, for me that was a really, really interesting game to play. Made a lot of sense towards the end. What else did I actually start playing and finished already now? Dead Space 2. Yes, Dead Space 2. I also played together with Yearning at the same time. Still one of my favorite games of all, Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2. I love the franchise. I find it a shame, it's really sad also that the franchise completely died out, because when Dead Space 1 came out, it really blew me away. The way the game was created, the atmosphere, the combat, just everything around, the whole story around it. It had a lot of potential to grow, and sadly they completely ruined it with the third game. And now, this franchise is completely dead. There's no more inspiration for it. Knowing that there's still a very huge fan base out there who really craves to have like a reboot of Dead Space, but I think there's not really any developer who is waiting to make a reboot of Dead Space. But anyway, I really did enjoy it. The last part was a little bit tedious in my ideas, because I didn't really like that last boss. I also completely forgot about that boss. I didn't really remember it. I played Dead Space 2 a couple of times, but I could really not remember how that boss was, and I had some issues with it towards the end. But we did finish it. So yeah. After I finished Yearning and Dead Space 2, I put on a new poll on Twitter, on my Twitter account, asking you guys what game you would like me to start playing for live streams, and I gave you guys the choice between two horror games. The one was called Wounded, and the second one was called The Darkness 2. The Darkness 2 I played years ago when it came out, together with the first one. Sadly, it's also a franchise or a series that is, completely dead. Sadly to say. So you guys actually chose for The Darkness 2, which I was also looking forward to start playing. So I was happy that you guys did choose that. Also, I was curious about the game Wounded, but I will come back to that a little bit later on, about that game. So The Darkness 2 is still ongoing on my channel. I don't know how long it's still gonna take me to finish that one. Maybe 1 to 2 more streams, maybe. I think something like that. But we'll see. What else did I start playing? Let me see, because like I said, I started a lot of games, also finished a lot of games. Dead Spank is still ongoing. So that's gonna take me a little bit longer, I guess, to finish. So I'm still doing recordings for that and for uploads. I hope you guys, for the people who are watching it, that you do enjoy it. Because I am planning on bringing the other games as well, the second one and the third one, to the channel, just to have a whole complete list of Dead Spank on my channel. So if you guys are interested in that as well, let me know. I did play also some other small horror game, what was called Fear in the Hospital. It was a game that was free on Steam, and I was really curious about it. It didn't really look that interesting, but I was curious about it, and it was for free. I was like, okay, we can't really do anything wrong with it. We'll see. Didn't really have that really good reviews on Steam. I had a little bit of bad ones and some mixed ones and a couple of good ones. So I was like, okay, let me give it a shot and let's just play it as a recording. And I had to say I had a lot of fun with it. The game itself doesn't really look like next gen. It looks more like a PlayStation 2 game, in my opinion. But overall, I did enjoy it. I had some really good jump scares in there. Towards the end, it faded out a little bit. But I did enjoy it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. It was nice to throw that in between the recordings and the live streams. And I did start another indie game last week as well. It's called The Dream Machine. And it's still going on. The game has 5 chapters, I think. And till now I am at chapter 2, which I will be uploading very soon. And I have to say, this game looks really beautiful. It's also an award winning game. And I could really tell from the beginning I started playing it that this game could be really interesting. It's an indie puzzle game with a very intriguing story till now. A very dark story as well, and also very realistic in some way. And the game is completely made out of clay and cardboard, which is, in my opinion, very original. I've never played a game like that before, and it works perfectly, in my opinion. It looks beautiful, it works just perfect. They keep it very basic. The puzzles are very intriguing, a little bit hard with moments. You really have to think about it, so that's also a plus for me, because I like my puzzle games. Excuse me. So that is also an ongoing game that I'm bringing to my channel. What else? Yes, I also started playing a game I also found on Steam already a couple of months ago. I actually found it. It's called Shadowside. It's still ongoing. I think maybe one more stream and the game will be finished. Honestly, in the beginning I had no idea what to expect from this game. I had good reviews, also mixed ones. They say it's a first-person exploration game, which is correct. It is a first-person exploration game. It's more like a first-person, walking simulator. And here and there are a little bit of puzzles in there, but not really that hard. It's very basic, straightforward. The game itself looks beautiful, in my opinion. It really looks beautiful. The game is made by the Cry engine, and I think that is the same engine they use for the Crysis games. I don't know if you guys know the Crysis game, the shooter franchise Crysis. Should have been the same engine that they're using, and you can really tell it's really well polished. The game looks really beautiful. There's not really a lot going on in the game. There is some kind of story going on, but honestly, till now, I have no clue whatsoever what is really going on in the game. Not saying that it's a bad game, totally not, because it works. But I already noticed that the game is trying to be a lot of things at the same time. That I already did notice throughout the streams right now, because in the beginning, it begins very mysterious. They try to set that tone out there, and they try to make it a little bit more thriller, horror vibe to it. And you can really tell that you can really see that in the first couple of streams, that they really try to push you in that direction. There's like something really weird is going on, and they don't really give you any answers. They don't really excuse me, let me drink a little bit. They don't really give you a lot to actually work with. So you're a little bit like left in the dark. And when you continue forward into the game, it still doesn't make a lot of sense. For what I've noticed till now, for what they've told us in the game, is that there was a guy who saw something, that some bad cops, some corrupted cops did something, and he was actually witness to that, and then they killed him. And then his spirit of the guy that was killed came actually in your body. To the soul of that person who died came in your body. And you're now possessed with something. I don't really know 100% sure what is going on. I could be completely wrong with this. But it's coming to an end. This game as well. Like I said, maybe one more stream. The game did already crash 2 times, which is really bad, because it crashed and my whole computer locked up, so I had to restart the whole computer, restart the whole game, and that was a little bit of a bummer for me. Overall, like I said, overall the game is not bad. It's more like a walking simulator, and they paid a lot of attention to the environment and the graphics and stuff like that, but they neglected a little bit the story, I think. It feels a little bit rushed. Like I said, it seems like they try to do a lot of things with the game, which is not really a bad thing at first hand, but it's not really stable. They just throw you in these new parts. There are 15 or 16 parts in the game, or chapters, whatever you want to call them, and it's just a mix of everything. It doesn't really have that consistency. Like, okay, where are we actually going? It's just there, and you figure it out, and it's a little bit confusing and annoying sometimes, because they try to tell you something, but you still don't really know what is going on. So already seen a lot of things in this game, what's really happening, but still have no clue what is really going on. But overall, I do enjoy this game. It's very straightforward, very basic. What I also find a little bit as a negative for this game is that there is no real checkpoint in the game. So let's say that you would stop in the middle of a chapter and you start the game back up, then you have to start all the way from the beginning again. There is no middle point somewhere that the game saves. You have to go through the chapter, and then the game will save, and then you can continue. So if your game crashes just before the end of a chapter, then you have to do that chapter all over again, which is very annoying. But besides that, the game is not bad, and I would definitely recommend it to try it out. Because there are moments in there when it's really creepy, and there's some the jump scares in the game are really spot on. That I have to say. They did a really good job at that, and you will not see it coming. Also. So I'm still enjoying that game, but I think like maybe one more stream and the game will also be finished. What else did I do? Oh yes. Last night I downloaded a game from the gaming platform itch.io called Contempt. Contempt. I don't really know exactly how it's pronounced. It's a short horror game, almost like a short horror walking simulator game. I could almost call it like that. It's very short. It's around 15 to 20 minutes long, depending on how much you actually want to do exploring in the environment. But that game was really, really good, and like I really mean that, really good. The atmosphere was spot on. The jump scares were just perfect. Did an outstanding job with that game. I almost felt like bad that it was that short, and at the same time it was just perfect the way it was. I know that probably doesn't really make a lot of sense for you guys, but if you haven't checked it out already, it's on my channel. Go check it out. Like I said, video of like 50 minutes. There's also a link in there for you guys. It's a game from itch.io. It's free, so you can get it if you want. If you don't feel like paying for it, you're free to try it out for free as well. So yeah, that is a little bit it for gaming wise, I guess. Oh yeah, there's still one more thing I would like to tell you guys. For my next plan, like I said, Shadowside is almost finished, and I think the Darkness 2 is also not gonna be that long anymore. So, what my plan would be is that I will, when Shadowside is finished, I will see how long the Darkness 2 still will be, how long I still have to stream it before that one is also finished. I will put a new poll on Twitter for you guys with two new games, and then you guys can decide which one you want me to start playing for live streams. Because I think for the moment for uploads I have more than enough. I'm still working on Dead Spank, still the Dream Machine, and in between I will put like another indie game in there for you guys, just to mix it up a little bit more. So my plan is to do it like this. I will always stream 2 games. Probably one game that I will choose for myself and one game that you guys will choose. I will do it like this, but I will do it with polls on Twitter. So if you guys are interested in these polls and you want to participate in it, then definitely keep an eye on my Twitter and and vote. You know, there's nothing wrong with voting. Nobody knows what you voted, so and it's good for me to see what you guys would actually want to see. So yeah, that will be my plan for probably maybe the end of this week, beginning next week. What else would I like to talk about? Because I've almost been talking like 20 minutes already about gaming. Also, this actually last week, Friday, the 9th, I think it's 9 days. I'm not 100% sure, 9 or 10 days. Every year there's a festival here in the city where I live, here in Belgium, in the city of Ghent. And I would like to share a little bit more with you guys, because it's like a tradition that's been going on for decades already. We've been doing it already for years at End. I think more than 20 years, 25, maybe 30, even more, I guess. I will have to check it on the website itself. But what I will do, guys, for you is that if you are interested in this, what this festival is all about, I will put a link in the description, because there's just too much to talk about, and I don't really know how I'm gonna edit this in. So I'm just gonna put a link in the description for you guys. If you are interested in this festival, what it's all about, you can visit the main website, and you can. Sorry, there's really something stuck in my throat today. Yeah, so like I was saying, I will put a link in the description for you guys about this festival. And normally, if you go to the website, on the top right corner, you will have an option to change the language. You can either leave it in the original language, you can which is my language, Dutch, or you can change it into French, or you can change it into English. So if you are interested, what I will try to do is that I will put the website already in English, and then I will copy the page so the link is automatically already in English if you open it. And what you will find on that website is the history about the city, about the festival, what is there to do. There will be videos on there, there will be a lot of photos on there about street artists, about food stands, about parades happening, about history shows, a lot of things. So I would like to share this, guys, with you, just to put something else in this episode for this week. And probably I already have something in mind for next week as well. I'm probably going to change it up a little bit and talk a little bit less about games, and maybe share a little bit more about myself for next week. But I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to talk about, but I do promise that I will change a little bit. Excuse me. That will change it up a little bit, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about myself. So, yeah, I think that will be it for this week, for this episode. Thank you very much already for spending your time and listening to me. Hear me ramble. And leave some comments behind what you think of it, if you have any ideas about certain games any thoughts about it, just let me know, and I will I will catch you guys later, maybe in the next episode, probably, or maybe in the next radio show of Miss Bean. We're still talking about, so you never know when you're gonna hear us first. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, guys. Because my voice is really going down right now, and I need to stop talking. Knowing I'm already really bad in talking, and I'm still talking. So anyway, I'm gonna stop with you guys for this video. Thank you very much for listening, and let me know what you thought about it, and I'll catch you next week. Bye bye.